So, hey everyone, Arctic Shadow here, and welcome back to Doki Doki Literature Club. Previously, Sayori died, and the game started going all sorts of crazy. And now I come back and this is what I'm looking at. Before that it actually said end. I'm not sure what that means. On the plus side, I did find that file finally. If I can get it to fit. Interesting enough, right here, it says, oh geez, I didn't break anything, did I? Hold on a sec, I can fix this, I think. Actually, you know what? This would probably be a lot easier if I just deleted her. She's the one making this so difficult. Haha. Well, here goes nothing. So, I have no idea what's going on here. This is pretty new to me. The only thing I can think of is trying to start the game again. Otherwise, yeah, I'm kind of drawing a blank here. But anyways, I guess I'll be right back. Okay, well, I guess I did need to close the game, because now we have all this stuff again. And of course Sayori is still missing. And it looks like my saves are all here. So that was pretty damn strange. Okay, well, same as before. I'm actually going to try and see if I can appeal to both Natsuki and Yuri. At this point, I don't even know if it means anything anymore. So, I guess I will see you all back once I progress somehow. No other way for me to say it. Okay, and here we are. Hi again, Daniel. Glad to see you didn't run away on us. Nah, don't worry. This might be a little strange for me, but I at least keep my word. Well, I'm back at the literature club. I was the last to come in, so everyone else is already hanging out. Okay. Thanks for keeping your promise, Daniel. I hope this isn't too overwhelming of a commitment for you. Making you dive headfirst into literature when you're not accustomed to it. Okay, that was freaky. Oh, come on, like he deserves any slack. You already had to be dragged here by Monica. I don't know if you plan to just come here and hang out or what. But if you don't take us seriously, then you won't see the end of it. Natsuki, you certainly have a big mouth for someone who keeps their manga collection in the classroom. I think that's what it says. I don't know, because she's in the text box. Okay, thanks Monica for moving. Natsuki finds herself stuck between saying Monica and manga. And then again, this is more or less the same dialogue as before. Manga is literature! Swiftly defeated, Natsuki plops back into her seat. Is it just me, or does everything look a little bit off-center? Or Yuri looks a little bit more larger. I'm sorry, Daniel. We'll make sure to put your comfort first, okay? Yuri shoots Natsuki with a disappointed glance. Anyway, now that you're in the club and all, perhaps you might have interest in picking up a book to read. Well, I can't really say no either way. Like you said, I'm in this club now, so it only feels right for me to do something like that if you ask. Oh, wait, I didn't mean it like that. If you really don't want to, then forget I'd said anything, I guess. No, it's not that, Yuri. It's just that I'm kind of freaked out and wondering what's going on. I want to try to be part of this club. Do you really now? So even if I don't read often, I'd be happy to pick up a book if you wanted me to. Are you sure? I just feel like, well, as vice president and all, that I should help you get started on something you might like. Yuri reaches into her bag and pulls out a book. I didn't want you to feel left out, so please take this book that I bought from the bookstore without a second thought. So I picked out a book that I thought you might enjoy. It's a short read, so it should keep your attention, even if you don't usually read. And we could, you know... Yeah, the music actually sounds kind of off too. Discuss it if you want it. This is... How is this girl accidentally being so cute? She even picked out a book she thinks I'll like, despite me not reading much. Yuri, thank you. I'll definitely read this. I enthusiastically take the book. Phew. Well, you can read it at your own pace. I look forward to hearing what you think. Okay, now everything looks normal. Or as close to normal as it could be. Now that everyone's settled in, I expect Monica to kick off some scheduled activities for the club. But that doesn't seem to be the case. Yuri's face is already buried in a book. I can't help but notice her intense expression, like she was waiting for this chance. Meanwhile, Natsuki is rummaging around in the closet. Ugh! I hear Natsuki utter an exasperated sigh from within the closet. She seems to be annoyed by something. I approach her in case she needs a hand. Okay, I'm guessing so far it's playing like normal. You know, aside from the little, like, Natsuki coming up from the floor, or Yuri missing her face for like 5 seconds. So, I guess I can once again do the branching paths here. Although I think this might be the same one again. You looking for something in there? Never mind. Fucking Monica. She never puts my stuff back in the right spot. What's the point in keeping your collection organized if someone else is just gonna mess it up? Natsuki slides a bunch of stacked books and boxes across the shelf. Manga. You read manga, right? Sometimes. Manga is one of those things where you can't admit you're really into it until you figure out where the other person stands. How did you know anyway? You mentioned it. I heard you bring it up at some point. Besides, it's kind of written on your face. In big black marker. What's that supposed to mean? I see. There's a lone volume of manga amidst a stack of various books on the side of one of the shelves. Curious, I pull it out of the stack. There it is! Natsuki snatches it out of my hand. She then turns to a box of manga and slips the volume right into the middle of the rest. Ah, much better. Seeing a box with one book missing is probably the most irritating sight in the world. I I know that feel. I get a closer look at the box set she's admiring. Parfait Girls? It's a series I've never heard of in my life, except in another universe. That probably means it's either way out of my demographic, or it's simply terrible. If you're gonna judge, you can go do it through the glass on that door. She points to the classroom door. Hey, I wasn't judging anything. I didn't even say anything. It was the tone of your voice. But I'll tell you one thing, Daniel. Consider that a lesson straight from the literature club. Don't judge a book. In fact, Natsuki pulls the first volume of Parfait Girls from the box. I'm going to show you exactly why. I'm guessing she was going to say, don't judge a book by its cover until it turned all scary. She shoves the book right into my hands. I stare at the cover. It features 4 girls in colorful attire striking animated feminine poses. It's exceedingly moe. Don't just stand there. Natsuki grabs my arm and pulls me out of the closet. Deja vu. She then takes a seat against the wall behind the windowsills. She pats the ground next to her, signaling me to sit there. Wouldn't chairs be more comfortable? I take my seat. Chairs wouldn't work. We can't read at the same time like that. Huh? Why's that? I guess it's easier to be closer together like this. Don't just say that! You'll make me feel weird about it. Natsuki crosses her arms and scooches an inch away from me, while thinking of me as a baka. Sorry. I didn't exactly expect to be sitting this close to her either. Not that I can say it's a particularly bad thing. I open the book. It's only a few seconds before Natsuki once again inches closer, reclaiming the additional space while she hopes I won't notice. I can feel her peering over my shoulder, much more eager to begin reading than I am. Wow, how long has it been since I read the beginning? You don't go back and flip through the older volumes every now and then? Not really. Maybe sometimes after I've already finished the series. Hey, are you paying attention? What was I doing again? I am, but nothing's really happened yet, so I can talk at the same time. It looks like it's about a bunch of friends in high school. Typical slice-of-life affair. I kinda grew out of these, since it's rare for the writing to be entertaining enough to make up for the lack of plot. Are you sure this isn't boring for you? It's not. Even though you're just watching me read? Well, I'm fine with that. If you say so. I guess it's fun sharing something you like with someone else. I always get excited when I convince any of my friends to pick up a series I enjoy. You know what I mean? Huh? You don't? That's not... I just noticed she has a little fang. Well, I wouldn't really know. What do you mean? Don't you share your manga with your friends? Could you not rub it in? Jeez. Sorry. Humph. Like I could ever get my friends to read this. They just think manga is for kids. I can't even bring it up with them without being all like, you still haven't grown out of that yet? Makes me want to punch them in the face. I know those kinds of people. Honestly, it takes a lot of effort to find friends who don't judge, much less friends who are also into it. I'm already kind of a loser, so I guess I gravitated toward the other losers over time. But it's probably harder for someone like you. Huh. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Wait, which part? I mean, I can't even keep it in my own room. Oh, my dad would beat the shit out of me if he found this. Okay. Well now. At least it's safe here in the club room. Except Monica's kind of a jerk about it. Ugh, I can't win, can I? Well, it paid off in the end, didn't it? I mean, here I am, reading it. Well, it's not like that solves any of my problems. Jeez, yeah. Maybe. But at least you're enjoying yourself, right? Did you not hear her mention about her abusive dad? So? Jeez, that's enough. Are you gonna keep reading or what? Yeah. I flip the page. And time passes. Okay. Time passes. Natsuki is strangely quiet now. I glance over at her. It looks like she started to fall asleep. Okay, that's new. Hey, Natsuki. Yeah? Suddenly, Natsuki collapses straight into me. Hey. Oh. Do you hear this? Okay, as if I needed another reason to be creeped out. Oh, jeez. Natsuki, are you okay? Yeah, you became like a robot there for a second. Here. Monica reaches into her bag and pulls out some kind of protein bar. She throws it in Natsuki's direction. Natsuki's eyes suddenly light up again. Eyes? Do you mean like her actual eyes, or those little black scribble things that were replacing her eyes and mouth? She snatches the bar from the floor and immediately tears off the wrapper. I told you not to give... She doesn't even finish her sentence before stuffing it into her mouth. Don't worry, Daniel. She's always like this. She's fine. It just happens every now and again. And then. Wait, you mean she glitches out like that every now and again? Seriously? That's why I always keep a snack in my bag for her. Anyway, why don't we all share poems now? Okay. Skip. Well, let's see. On this day 4th, this will be the Natsuki route. Or... yeah, I can do that. Okay. Let's go ahead and go with Natsuki. I told Natsuki I was interested in her poems yesterday. Okay. I guess that was pretty eventful. I'm guessing at this point on, it's kind of the same. Oh, something I can't skip. Hey Daniel, or hi Daniel. Having a good time so far? Aside from all the freaky glitches happening, yeah, I guess you can say that. Yeah. Good, glad to hear it. By the way, since you're new and everything, if you ever have any suggestions for the club, like new activities, or things we can do better, I'm always listening. Don't be afraid to bring things up, okay? Alright, I'll keep that in mind. Of course I'll be afraid to bring things up. I'm much better off going with the flow until I'm more settled in. Anyway, want to share your poem with me? It's kind of embarrassing, but I guess I have to. Haha. Don't worry, Daniel. We're all a little embarrassed today, you know? But it's that sort of barrier that we'll all learn to get past soon. Yeah, that's true. I had Monica my poem. I like it, Daniel. Really? It's a lot cuter than I expected. Ah, jeez. No. It kind of makes me think of something Natsuki would write. And she's a good writer, too. So take that as a compliment. If you say so. Yup. If you're interested in Natsuki, then always keep a snack on you. She'll cling to you like a puppy. Natsuki's dad doesn't give her lunch money or leave her any food in the house, so she's in a fussy mood pretty often. But sometimes she just loses all her strength and shuts down. Okay, yeah, this is the sign of an abusive household. Like earlier, this is just a guess, but I think she's so small because her malnutrition is interfering with her adolescent growth. But hey, some guys are into petite girls too, you know? Sorry, just trying to look at the bright side. Anyway, do you want to read my poem now? Don't worry, I'm not very good. You sound pretty confident for someone who claims to be not very good. Well, that's because I have to sound confident. That doesn't mean I always feel that way, you know. I see. Well, let's read it then. Let's see. Hole in the wall. I think this is new? Okay, well, hole in the wall. But he wasn't looking at me. Confused, I frantically glanced at my surroundings. But my burned eyes can no longer see color. Are there others in this room? Are they talking? Or are they simply poems on flat sheets of paper? The sound of frantic scrawling playing tricks on my ears? The room begins to crinkle, closing in on me. The air I breathe dissipates before it reaches my lungs. I panic. There must be a way out. It's right there. He's right there. Swallowing my fears, I brandish my pen. Okay, well this is clearly not the first poem that she showed us in Act 1. But I feel like it's similar to one of her other later poems in Act 1. Either way, I guess that means we're gonna get some new material from Monica. The other girls clearly still have the same scripted stuff. So what do you think? It's very freeform, if that's what you call it. Sorry, I'm not really the right person to ask for feedback. It's okay. Yeah, that kind of style's gotten pretty popular nowadays. That is, a lot of poems have been putting emphasis on the timing between words and lines. When performed out loud, it can be really powerful. What was the inspiration behind this one? Well, I'm not sure I know how to put it. I guess you could say I had some kind of epiphany recently. Okay. And Sailor Moon says, yada yada. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and save here. And the music is getting creepy again. And I am gonna go ahead and try for Yuri now, to make some kind of sense out of all this. Okay, in that case, I will be right back. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, that was... Okay, that was creepy. I guess it doesn't matter how much I know this game, I'm still gonna get creeped out. I did not even realize that was gonna happen. Forgive me. Okay. Let's see. Okay. I'm really curious to talk to Yuri a bit more. But at the same time, I would feel bad distracting her from reading. Also at the same time, I feel like I'm gonna be really, really terrified and on edge. I catch a glimpse of the cover of her book. It looks like the same book that she lent to me. More than that, she seems to be on the first few pages. Crap. I think she noticed me looking at her. She sneaks another glance at me, and our eyes meet for a split second. But that only makes her hide her face deeper in her book. Sorry. I was just spacing out, and recovering from the heart attack I had earlier. I mutter this, sensing I made her uncomfortable. Oh, it's fine. If I was focused, then I probably wouldn't have noticed in the first place. But I'm just rereading a bit of this, so... That's the book you gave me, right? Hmm? What's going on with your eye? I wanted to reread some of it, because I'm having problems seeing. Not for any particular reason. Just curious, how come you have 2 copies of the same book? Well, when I stopped at the bookstore yesterday... that's not what I meant. I mean, I just happened to buy 2 of them. Ah, I see. There's something fairly obvious that Yuri isn't telling me, but I decide to let it go. I'll definitely start reading it soon. I'm glad to hear. Once it starts to pick up, you might have a hard time putting it down. It's a very engaging and relatable story. Is that so? What's the story about anyway? Well, I look at the cover of the book. The book is titled Portrait of Markov. There's an ominous-looking eye symbol on the front cover. Basically, it's about this religious camp that was turned into a human experiment prison. And the people trapped there have this trait that turns them into killing machines that lust for blood. But the facility gets even worse, and they start selectively breeding people by cutting off their limbs and affixing them to... Oh, that might be a bit of a spoiler. But anyway, I'm really into it. The book, I mean. Not the thing about the limbs. That's kind of dark, isn't it? Yuri made it sound like it was going to be a nice story, so that dark turn came from nowhere. Are you not a fan of that sort of thing, Daniel? No, it's not that. I mean, I can definitely enjoy those kinds of stories, so don't worry. I hope so. Yeah, I totally forgot that Yuri is into those things. She's so shy and reclusive on the outside, but her mind seems to be completely different. It's just, this kind of story, it kind of challenges, it's the kind that challenges you to look at life from a strange new perspective. When horrible things happen, not just because someone wants to be evil, but because the world is full of horrible people, and we're all worthless anyway. Okay. Then, suddenly... I'm rambling again, aren't I? Yeah, you kind of were. Not again. I'm sorry. Hey, don't apologize. Is the protagonist even listening to the stuff that they say in the black text? I'm starting to think he doesn't. I haven't lost interest or anything. Well, I guess it's alright then. But I feel I should let you know that I have this problem. When I let things like books and writing fill my thoughts, my whole body gets incredibly something. I kind of forget to pay attention to other people. I'm almost curious what she was about to say, that her body gets... Well, once again, I know the general story of the game, so I have a theory, but I'm probably not gonna say it because it's a spoiler. If you're part of the people who haven't played this game yet and don't want to be spoiled. So I'm sorry if I end up saying something strange. You mean like before? And please stop me if I start talking too much. I really don't think you need to worry. That just means you're passionate about reading. The least I can do is listen. This is a literature club after all. Well, that's true. In fact, I might as well get started reading it, right? Oh, jeez, I'm gonna be very jumpy from this point on, I guess. Yes. I mean, you don't have to, but... what are you saying? Ignore the dogs. Just let me get the book. I quickly retrieved the book that I had put into my bag. Alright, it's fine if I sit here, right? I slip into the seat next to Yuri's. Yeah. Are you sure? You seem a little apprehensive. I'm sorry. It's not that I don't want you to. It's just something I'm not very used to. That is, reading in company with someone. I see. Well, just tell me if I end up distracting you or anything. Alright. I open the book and start the prologue. I soon understand what Yuri means about reading in company. It's as if I can feel her presence over my shoulder as I read. It's not a particularly bad thing. Maybe a little distracting, but the feeling is somewhat comforting. Yuri is in the corner of my eye. I realize she's not actually looking at her own book. I glance over. It looks like she's reading from my book instead. Sorry. I was just bathing the... What the... Okay, I didn't even get a chance to read that. I just saw bathing and... Yuri, you really apologize a lot, don't you? I do? I don't really mean to. Sorry. I mean... Here, this should work, right? I slide my desk until it's up against Yuri's, and hold my book more between the two of them. I suppose so. Yuri timidly closes her own copy. Once we lean in a little bit, our shoulders are almost touching. It feels like my left arm is in the way, so instead I use my right hand to hold the book open. I guess this kind of makes it difficult to turn the page. Here. Yuri takes her left arm and holds the left side of the book between her thumb and forefinger. Ah. I do the same with my right arm, on the right side of the book. That way, I turn a page and Yuri slides it under her thumb after it flips to her side. But in holding it like this, we're huddled even closer than before. It's actually kind of distracting me. It's as if I can feel the warmth of Yuri's face, and she's in the corner of my vision. Are you ready? To turn the page. Sorry. I think I got a bit distracted for a second. I glance over at Yuri's face again and our eyes meet. I don't know how I'll be able to keep up with her. That's okay. You're not as used to reading, right? I don't mind being impatient if it takes you a little bit longer. It's probably the least I can do, since you've been so patient with me. Yeah, thanks. We continue reading. Yuri no longer asks me if I'm ready to turn the page. Instead, I just assume that she finishes the page before me, so I turn it by my own volition. We continue the first chapter in silence. Even so, turning each page almost feels like an intimate exchange. My thumb gently lets go of the page, letting it flutter over to her side as she catches it under her own thumb. Hey Yuri. This might be a silly thought, but the main character kind of reminds me of you a little bit. Okay, that's new. No, I don't relate to this character at all. Definitely not. Really? I was just thinking the way she second guesses things she says and all that. That's what you were talking about. Sorry. I thought you meant something else about her. Something else? Why, is she like some kind of crazy person? Are you a crazy? Never mind, because you're sure acting like a crazy. We didn't even get that far yet, so I don't know why that came into my head. Yuri, are you feeling alright? Yuri's been a little fidgety ever since we started reading, and also I'm getting some very murderous vibes from her. You can rest if you're feeling sick or something. Your breathing is a little erratic. My breathing? Yuri puts a hand on her chest, as if to feel her heartbeat. I didn't even notice. Anyway, I'm fine. I just need some water. Alright, don't push yourself. So Yuri stands up and practically rushes out the classroom. What on earth was that about? Daniel? Did something happen just now? Yes. Yuri started turning a little crazy. I have no idea. Yuri was acting a little strange, I guess. So you don't know anything. And what's that supposed to mean? Sorry, I can't say I do. Are you worried about her? Oh, no, not really. I was just making sure you didn't do anything to her. No, if anything, she did something to me. She's making me feel very scared and uncomfortable. Kind of like how you are. No, nothing. Don't worry, I believe you, silly. Yuri just does this sometimes, so it's nothing alarming. You mean she gets all excited and crazy? Alright, if you say so. Anyway, why don't we start with sharing our poems with each other? Huh? Shouldn't we wait for Yuri? Well, she might be a while, so I figured we'd get started without her. Is that okay? Yeah, I was just asking. I stand up. I make a mental note of where I left off in the book, then slip it back into my bag. Okay, so clearly Yuri's not an option in this case, because she's not here. So I guess let's head on down the line. I told Natsuki, blah 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 blah. Eagles can fly. Monica. Let's see. Great job, Daniel. I was going ooh in my head while reading it. It's really metaphorical. I'm not sure why, but I didn't expect you to go for something so deep. I guess I underestimated you. It's easiest for me to keep everyone's expectations low. That way, it always counts when I put in some effort. That's not very fair. Well, I guess it worked anyway. You know that Yuri likes this kind of writing, right? Writing that's full of imagery and symbolism. Sometimes I feel like Yuri's mind is just totally detached from reality. I don't mean that, like, it's a bad thing, though. But sometimes I get the impression that she's totally given up on people. She spends so much time in her own head that it's probably a much more interesting place for her. But that's why she gets so happy when you treat her with a lot of kindness. But I don't think she's used to being indulged like that. She must be really starved for social interaction, so don't blame her for coming on a little strongly. Like earlier, when she started laughing like a maniac. If she gets too stimulated, she ends up withdrawing and looking for alone time. Suddenly, the door opens. Yuri, I'm back. Did I miss anything? No, not really. Well, we started sharing our poems with each other. Huh? Already? I'm sorry for being late. No need to apologize. We still have plenty of time, so I'm more glad that you took all the time you needed. Alright. Thanks, Monica. I suppose I should go get my poem now. Anyway, do you want to read my poem now? Let's see, is it going to be Hole in the Wall again? Yeah. Okay, it is Hole in the Wall. Okay. I'm kind of scared clicking on this now. Remember how I said I kind of liked Yuri before? You're gonna see why I'm a little bit afraid of her eventually. Let me see. Okay, well, I think I might just call that an episode. I'm still kind of on edge. Okay, the music is changing again. Man. Okay, well, next time, we're gonna continue, and hopefully Natsuki and Yuri don't start breaking down even more than they already have. So, with that said, I shall see you all next time. Later.